This morning we had breakfast together and we prayed in Our Father, and then we started walking out. Everyone was pretty fast, so I let them all pass me. I like to walk slow these days. Oh, they said I looked like Jesus at the dinner, so that made me feel pretty good. But calm down, Daniel. Calm down. Calm down. It was cool. They said I looked like a young Jesus, and I was talking to these Italians. And what's really cool about being on the French way, and I was looking at some of my old videos as I was transitioning into into Spain from France, and I was thinking, I don't know which way to go. I don't know about this. And today I was thinking about how God guided me onto the path that I'm on right now, and how I've been talking about Jesus every day with every person that I can come in contact with. I like talking about Jesus. I like talking about God. So yesterday when they were going to wash our feet, someone said, hey, you read the Bible a lot. What's this all about? And I got to talk about how Jesus washed the feet of his disciples as an example. Not only to show that he was not here to be served, but to serve. He washed the feet of his disciples who came into the Last Supper with dirty feet, which you were supposed to wash your feet before coming into dinner. But if you didn't, then the servants, the lowest of the low, these were the people that would come in and they would wash your feet. So what does it mean when your master, your God, your Lord comes in and washes your feet? It says something, right? That you're supposed to humble yourself and serve others. And then someone asked me, okay, but what if you don't want your feet to be washed? And that's in fact the case with Peter. Peter said, Lord, you're not going to wash my feet. Because he knew that it was for the lowest of the low people to do that. And then Jesus said, if you don't let me wash your feet, you have no part in me. And so what that means is that it's not just about washing feet, but God is saying, if you don't want my help, then you can't be with me. And it's talking about something bigger. If we think that we can go through this life by ourselves, that we don't need anyone to wash our feet, that we can do everything ourselves, we're not going to make it to the end. And we're not going to be with God forever. He wants you to recognize that you need help and humble yourself, not only to serve others, but to admit that you need help and you can't do it all alone. So I got to talk about that. And then today when I was walking, I walked alone for most of the morning. I was just thinking about God and thinking and praying and thinking about my family. And then Jordan, the Jewish girl, she slowed down and I walked with her. And she asked me tons of questions about God, and I love it. I feel like her heart is softening and she has a very open mind and an open heart to talk about these things. And yesterday I talked to the Dutch girl a lot. She asked me a lot of questions about God, and today they were asking me, who do I think God is? What does he look like? And what do I think about, intimacy and all these things? And I love it. I told them I love being questioned about this. It really is putting my faith into practice. Everything that I read, everything that I pray about, everything I talk to God about, it's coming out here. I get to actually put it into practice, not just through my works, but also preaching in a way. And I feel like this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. Anyway, after walking with Jordan and breaking bread with her, having lunch with her, I told her to go on ahead because I was going to stay in this abandoned town. But the albergue that I was going to stay in is closed here. So I took a nap by the church, which is closed as they always are here in Spain. And now it is 5 o'clock. I'm thinking I will try to walk to the next town, but take it slow because I've already walked about 15 miles. I'm going to have dinner at the next town. Take it slow, maybe read my Bible, write, just relax. And then when the sun goes down and the stars are out, I'm going to attempt my very first night walk. Because the meseta is beautiful and flat, and I think walking at night, first of all, is going to be better because it's so hot during the day. But also I'm going to be able to see the stars and all of God's creations in silence and enjoy the cool air. So I'm not gonna find a place to sleep tonight. Don't be worried, God is with me. Maybe I'll do some cowboy camping and sleep if I'm really tired under a tree somewhere, if I find one. And I'll catch up on sleep tomorrow, but I'm really excited. I'm gonna try to stock up on food and supplies at the next town if there are any. And then I'm gonna have a little night adventure. So hopefully, if that happens, you guys are about to see what it looks like. Hey guys, it is 7:40 p.m. The sun is still out, but it's not so hot right now. I just stopped in this little town here to rest my legs to journal a little bit, to have a nice refreshing smoothie, an ice cream. And then these pilgrims who know me saw me out there, and they heard that I was going to do the night walk. So they gave me dinner. They gave me spaghetti with lentils. So I'm fully recharged. Also, this really nice host of their albergue saw me, talked to me for a while, gave me a bottle of water. So we have extra water. And he said it's a perfect night to do the night walk because tonight, or the walk that I'm doing right now, I have about 1 hour's walk to the next town called Carrión. And then I have 17 kilometers of straight nothing but fields. It's called a Roman walk because there's no water, no trees, no pit stops, nothing for 17 kilometers. And most people do that during the day when it's hot. But he says it's the perfect idea for me to do a night walk today because I will have the entire field to myself, stars all along the sky, and I won't need to worry about water so much because it'll be nighttime. Guys, I'm so excited. I think it's one of those things where God's hand is evident on the way and in my life. I'm gonna walk today with him 3 hours alone under the stars. No one's gonna be there, and I just get to enjoy his creation in the cool of the night. And it's funny how my albergue was closed tonight. The place I was gonna stay was closed, but I wasn't worried. I took a nap, and now I'm going to just enjoy being with him. And it's not about finding a place to sleep. For every night I have a place to sleep. It's okay if I go one night without a bed, as long as I can enjoy this and be present in the moment with him. Oh man, this is gonna be beautiful. One last thing, most people are gonna be walking in the heat of the day tomorrow. This 17-kilometer walk with no water and no stops. It's gonna be about 80 to 90 degrees for them. I pray for them. We gotta pray for them. Lord, give them the strength and protect them and bless them and come into their lives in a strong way. As for me, the Lord is blessing me with 60-degree weather tonight, so I'll be wearing my poncho. Oh man. Okay guys, I just left the town that was standing in my way. Had a little coffee, and now I'm walking into the sunset. Check it out. Kind of feels like when I walk early in the morning. The air is cool. Nature's still awake. Smells great. And after that coffee, I have energy. I also refreshed myself on the word. I was reading a little bit of Luke and a little bit of Leviticus. So much fun reading about sacrificial guilt offering, sin offering, and stuff like that. Not my favorite cup of tea, but in Luke, I read a really good passage. I think it's part of chapter 16, maybe 15, where basically there's a rich man who's dressed in luxurious robes, and he eats very well every day. And outside stands a man named Lazarus, or sits a man named Lazarus, who is poor and so sick that dogs are coming to lick his sores. And the rich man and Lazarus both die. And Lazarus was begging for food and poor and suffering his whole life, while the rich man was rich and having a great time here on earth with all his material things. But in the afterlife, Abraham carries off, or the angels carry Lazarus to Abraham's bosom, also known as heaven. And the rich man goes down to the place of gnashing teeth. And he says, Abraham, please let Lazarus come and dip his finger in water and then touch my tongue just to relieve me of some of my suffering. And Abraham says, we can't, for even if we wanted to help you, there's a big chasm between us and we can't go over it to come help you and relieve you of your suffering. Then the rich man says, okay, Abraham, just have Lazarus go to my family where there's about 5 people in my home and tell them that this is what happens after death if they don't believe. And Abraham says, listen, they have Moses and the prophets and they will listen to them. And if they don't listen to Moses and the prophets, who they already have, they will not believe even if a man comes back from the dead. Crazy ending to the story, because they're talking about Christ, obviously not the poor man. But man, I want you guys to see the sunset. Hold on. Hey guys, it's hard to see me, but just along my way, a couple miles in, there's this massive coffee signs. It lights up so far, probably 3 or 4 fields down. So I'm glad I'm passing it now, because this bright light has been impairing me a little bit, I think, from seeing all the stars. But even then, I've seen more stars tonight than I've ever seen before. I'm really enjoying this. My feet, not so much. I've walked 27 miles. But I'll rest soon in a place that I think is safe to look at the stars some more.